So President Cyril Ramaphosa will address the nation at 8:30 tonight, following a number of meetings of Cabinet and the National Coronavirus Command Council. It will be on South Africa's ongoing measures to manage the spread of the virus. Currently, South Africa's COVID-19 cases are at 11,350, with the death toll at 206. Let's cross live now to the Union Buildings. SABC political editor Mzwandile Mbeje is there for us ahead of the President's address. A very good evening to you, Mzwai. You've got your ears very much closer to the building there. Much speculation about whether the country will move to stage 3 and if any of the lockdown rules will be tightened in certain areas. What are you hearing?
Well, very good evening to you, Griselda. The President will indeed have to strike a very delicate balance. There's the issue of lives, of saving lives, Griselda, but at the same time, there's the issue about livelihoods. So what do? I mean, you don't want people to lose their lives. At the same time, you don't want people to go jobless. And I think what the President will do tonight is to basically explain to South Africans what is it that will inform the decision. Many people have been saying perhaps it's time to somehow relax or rather lower the level to at least level 3 so that more people will be able to go back to work. But at the same time, Griselda, we see the infections rise very, very, very fast. So what do? And there's also a theory that, perhaps not even a theory, that we will have to live with this virus for the next year or even 18 months. So do you then lock yourself out of the world for the next 18 months? It's certainly not possible. But to simply just go out, you can't do that. So I think what the President will do tonight will perhaps allow some of the districts or even metros to decide on their own levels, depending on what on what their situations or conditions are. Yeah. But perhaps allow a bit of economic activity in the form of perhaps declaring level 3. So it's something really that when you've been hearing from the business sector and even from some of the unions saying, well, South Africans need to go back to work, but they must do that very, very safely. I think that is the thrust of the message that we'll hear tonight, Griselda.
Mzwandile, not just some pressure from the opposition party, some of the opposition parties, but also seemingly some pressure in terms of commentary that I earlier spoke to our colleague Samkele Maseko about from people within who are very close to him. One of the special envoys, the former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel, who didn't mince his words in basically saying that some of the lockdown rules didn't make any sense, and that perhaps there should be a move down to this level 3.
Well, that's, I think to many people, that was a bit surprising because Trevor Manuel is the special envoy of the President, so he could easily take up the phone and call or simply walk to the President to say, Mr. President, don't you think we have to do things a bit differently here? So it was a bit perhaps surprising. But of course, it represented the voice of those who want the lockdown to be lowered to level 3. And the intention really is to try and allow more economic activity. I mean, you know that level 3, Griselda, will basically, when it comes to automotive sector, in terms of the manufacturing, they will be allowed to go to 100% in terms of work. I mean, the mining, they will be allowed to go up to 100%. And many other manufacturing sectors, others will scale up to 50, others will be 100%. And of course, the very interesting issue that South Africans were speaking about 2 weeks ago, Griselda, the issue of tobacco. I mean, when I read some of the things or that are items that are permitted under level 3, you will see that tobacco products are allowed there, and there's been a very strong lobby in that regard. And of course, the issue of alcohol. But when it comes to alcohol, you know, it will still be if that's assuming, Griselda, that we are going to level 3.
Yes.
It will be allowed only from 8 o'clock, I think, to 12 p.m., only from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So those are some of the items that may be allowed, and those will somehow contribute to some of the economic activity. And again, the issue of domestic travel. So under level 3, you expect about domestic travel, the planes to be able to travel on a limited basis, but only domestically. So insofar as the provincial borders are concerned, they remain closed, and the borders of the country, they remain closed. So it's very, very select things that get allowed, Griselda.
Mzwandile, thank you very much indeed. I'm sure you'll have your ear on the ground there for us, and we'll certainly know at 8:30 this evening what exactly the President will say. All, of course, speculation at this stage, whether we will move to level 3, whether that's what the President will announce. We'll certainly hear all of that at 8:30. Mzwandile Mbeje, SABC political editor, live to us from the Union buildings there ahead of that address.